Hello everyone and welcome to my runner-by-runner preview of the Memsie Stakes for 2021, a cracking field for this edition of the Memsie Stakes, and we're going to go through 12 runners, preview them all, see who's going to win and who's going to lose. So we're going to get straight on with horse number 1, 50 Stars. Now 50 Stars is having its 34th career start on Saturday. It is first up, and first up I don't think it goes as well as second up and third up. Also 1400 metres I think might be a bit too short for a horse like 50 Stars. It's still a horse, like it's still a 7-year-old bay horse, so it can still have, like, it could still be a sire when it retires. It's got a lot of potential at stud if it continues to go down that path, but for a winning or placing in the Memsie Stakes on Saturday is highly unlikely in my opinion. Horse number 2 is the big boy Behemoth, my on-top selection. Won this race last year for Craig Williams, who rides TOFANE this year, but Behemoth, in my opinion, is superior to every other runner in this field. It's just a matter of what type of run it gets. So first up, it won the Spring Stakes, beating BEAU ROSSA on a protest. It sat outside BEAU ROSSA and nearly won the race. As we can see here, Behemoth loomed up large and sort of got cut off, but then kept trying. So I reckon Behemoth would bolt in. It's just the gate that I'm concerned about, gate 9. If it doesn't get cover, I'm going to be concerned, but if it gets cover, I reckon it will bolt in big time. I think overall in the Memsie Stakes in the past, the boys have had a better winning strike rate than the girls, which only enhances Behemoth's chances to beat the likes of TOFANE and Inspirational Girl. So I've gone Behemoth on top. I think he can return to his best form in his career on Saturday. Number 3 is Streets of Avalon, a horse that tries its heart out every single race, a track and distance specialist, winning 5 from 16 at the track and distance. Streets of Avalon, I reckon, is a real chance at a big price on the weekend. First up in the Bletchingley was the run of the race where it was beaten the nose by SANSOM. It was leading into the breeze, which you didn't want to do on that day because the breeze played a major factor. But then in the Lawrence Stakes next start, didn't fire a shot, pulled up lame, was actually well backed in the Lawrence Stakes and pulled up lame. So it was going to run well if it didn't pull up lame. I had it on top and I was disappointed, but when I found it pulled up lame, I forgived it straight away. Dan Yendall jumps on with Zach Spain unable to ride. I think Dan Yendall will push on from gate 10 to lead on the fence. Hopefully, I think ARCHEDEMUS will lead outside of it, but Streets of Avalon, I reckon if it gets zone time up in front and doesn't go too hard, it's a real chance to get back to its best, and I reckon $19 is over the odds for Streets. Horse 4 is ARCHEDEMUS, a horse that is second up in its career right now. And last start it ran in the Lawrence Stakes the same as Streets of Avalon. It sat outside Streets of Avalon and finished in front of Streets of Avalon, but it didn't pull up lame, so it didn't have any excuses. It's $71 or $67 abouts there on the weekend. I'll be willing to take it on. I don't think it's up to a Group 1 quality class as Behemoth, TOFANE and all of them. ARCHEDEMUS, look, it can try, but I don't think it can win. Number 5 is a really interesting runner, Red Can Man. It's really fit, this horse, and last start ran a solid third in the PB Lawrence behind Sierra Sue. I think Red Can Man's racing extremely well. It's been thereabouts its past couple of starts. Every time it's been on a good track, it's run really well, so it'll probably get the same scenario on the weekend. However, I think that this is a different kettle of fish for Red Can Man. It's up against Behemoth now with TOFANE and all of them. It's not up against horses like Malkovich or Groundswell or King Magnus. They're not in this race. It's the big boys and the big girl stuff. Red Can Man will need to go to a whole new level to win, but if it does, I'll be surprised. Number 6 is SANSOM, a horse that won the Bletchingley Stakes first up this preparation, beating Streets of Avalon, and then it finished last in the PB Lawrence Stakes. SANSOM's a pretty interesting runner. We're going to take a look at its win in the Bletchingley right now. It's 9 from 22 in its career, so it's still got some upside. Everyone on Racing.com is saying that 1400 metres isn't its distance, as it'll probably over race. But last year, I think it was on Emirates Stakes Day, it won a 1400 metre race at Flemington. So I think it definitely has the quality. Gate 2, look, it can settle forward of midfield. It can be on the speed. It could push Streets of Avalon so Streets of Avalon comes across. I think SANSOM, if it gets back to its best, it can run into a placing. Horse number 7 is a pretty interesting runner, AEGON. Trained in New Zealand, this horse last preparation was running in Sydney. It won the Hobartville, which we're going to take a look at. It ran a solid race in the Randwick Guineas and then didn't fire a shot in the Doncaster. I don't think the Memsie's too hard for this horse, but I just think the track might be too hard for this horse. It probably prefers a softer track, so it can get its toe in and really do its best. But John McNeil goes on, which is a big, it's a good thing. It's a good thing, John McNeil going on. AEGON, gate 7, I don't know whether it can run over the top of the likes of Streets of Avalon or whether it can go with Behemoth or TOFANE. So I think AEGON is just a slight little query on whether it'll win. It can definitely fill a placing though. Number 8 is a runner-up to Behemoth last start. BEAU ROSSA crossed the line first but was deemed second after it cut off Behemoth. We're going to take a look at the Spring Stakes again and focus on BEAU ROSSA. Now, it's had 11 starts, which I don't think is enough to win a Group 1 of this quality. BEAU ROSSA is also dual accepted in Adelaide as well, so it could easily get scratched. Ben MELHAM, gate 1, will go forward, maybe even lead or sit box seat. It'll be one of the two. It's been racing extremely well, but like Red Can Man, this is a different kettle of fish for BEAU ROSSA, and I think it'll have to go to an extreme new level to win this race, although it has been racing really well, and I think it has a lot of upside. When it gets deeper into its career, I reckon it can do something special, BEAU ROSSA, but I think on Saturday, if it runs in the Memsie Stakes, it's not likely. Number 9, Damien Oliver and James Cummings combined for Colette, who I thought was slightly under the odds in my opinion. First up, doesn't do all as well as what it does deeper into its campaign, but it is a very classy horse. It will probably be better suited to wet tracks in its career. I don't think it can definitely run on a good track, but not as good as on a soft track. And it'll also be better suited over further, like the 2,000 metres or so. And gate 12 will have to get right back. And can it run over the top of the likes of Behemoth and TOFANE? As I've already said many times, I don't think so. That's why I think it's slightly under the odds, but it is a classy horse. And when it gets deeper into its campaign over a longer distance, I reckon it'll be competitive then. Horse number 10, a horse that Craig Williams chose to ride over Behemoth. It is TOFANE, who's won its past 2 races at Eagle Farm in 2 Group 1 races in a field of 18. So that's a really, really good sign going forward. Craig Williams sticks with it. It'll get a good run from gate 4. It'll get all the favours. It can keep Behemoth wide. Hope it doesn't, but it can keep Behemoth wide. First up, off a bit of a freshen up, isn't ideal in my opinion. First up, it hasn't won a race in 5 starts, so that's a bit of a query. And as I've said earlier, the boys usually have a better strike rate than the girls in the Memsie Stakes, which is also a query, which is why I tip Behemoth on top. But TOFANE can definitely run well, as it has Craig Williams and a soft draw, be powering home late. Horse 11, now being trained by Danny O'Brien, is number 11, Inspirational Girl. This horse is first up off a bit of a break, has won 9 from 12 starts, that's good. Won the Railway Stakes, which is what we're going to take a look at for Willie Pike and 53 kilos. Inspirational Girl, I reckon, is the dark horse that can definitely win with just going under the radar without me noticing it. It's never missed the top 3 in its career. It can definitely run well. Gate 3 has just misses the start usually, which might not help it from gate 3 especially, because it'll get back buried on the fence. But I reckon it has the ability to run over the top of all of these. It's just first up whether it's fit enough and whether it can run over the top. But Damien Lane is on and it can go well. And the last horse of the field is number 12, Sierra Sue. It is a pretty fit horse. It's been racing for a while, but obviously, as I've said, it needs to go to a new PB to win this. It won last start in the PB Lawrence Stakes. That's a bit of namerology that can go in there. Look, it's won 7 from 16. It's a good horse. Gate 5 will keep Behemoth wide also, which isn't ideal for Behemoth or my tipping. But it was a solid win last start racing, throw out without cover, beating Angel of Truth and Red Can Man. It's in a different field this time with like Inspirational Girl, TOFANE, Behemoth. So I think Sierra Sue can run well. If it wins, I'll be super surprised and super happy for the owners. But I still think that it's going to be a race dominated by Behemoth. who I have got on top as we go to the selections. Behemoth is on top for me. I reckon if it gets cover, it'll bolt in, as I said earlier, for Jamie Carr, but if it doesn't, something else will win, like Streets of Avalon, who I've got in there for second. It's $19. From gate 10, it'll go to the front. Track and distance specialist. If it gets back to its best, I reckon it can win. In there for third, we've got TOFANE. I think it can definitely win from that low draw. Gate 4, Craig Williams, and Inspirational Girl. But as I've said, the girls usually have a worse strike rate than the boys, so that's why I've got the two mares, TOFANE and Inspirational Girl, in there for third and fourth. They can both win, but will they? I don't know. If Behemoth doesn't get cover, they can, definitely. But that's my wrap for the Memsie Stakes for 2021 on Saturday. Hope you back on winner or get a return in the race, and I'll see you shortly for the next video.